What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the BallGame podcast. As you can see, we are on Zoom. This is our first time doing a Zoom meeting.
What's up,
First of
guys?
all, I am the innocent bystander, Matt Sullivan.
I'm Ortiz.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Dean.
And
We have
I'm
a
the
very
man of
special
the hour,
guest today.
Tony
Here he
Overton.
is.
Man of
Yes,
the hour.
obviously, as you
Welcome
can
to
see,
Shield.
this is the new Trunks. He's our
The
replacement
better
for him.
Trunks. The better
He's the better
Trunks.
version of
We really
Trinkali.
didn't need that redhead fuck. Yeah. The
Yeah,
logo's been-
so obviously big news coming out in the NBA, so we decided to do a quick emergency podcast. A far better version of Trinkali, as we said, better insight and all that stuff. So
Drew.
all right, so obviously we'll get right into things. I think we're ready to go. Follow us on all the socials, link in the description below, of course. And if you're watching this, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Okay, Kyrie Irving to start things off here.
Ooh.
Traded to the Dallas Mavericks. Chris, your squad, man, one of your favorite squads, and now Luka has an all-star partner. So what do we think of
Running
the
mate.
trade? What are our initial thoughts?
Yeah, so the Mavericks
details.
got Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris, and the Nets received Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a first-round pick unprotected in 2029, which is kind of crazy, and then a 2027 and 2029 second-round pick. My thoughts are the Mavs are the best team in the West. It's as simple as that. I've been hyping up the Mavs all season. I feel like LeBron with the meme of predicting and lying because I knew the Mavs were going to trade for Kyrie Irving this whole time. I just had a feeling. That's why I predicted the Mavs to win the NBA Finals. But in all seriousness, Kyrie Irving has proven to us multiple times that he could be a legit number two, one of the best Robins, if you want to call it that, we've seen in our lifetimes watching basketball. Luka Doncic has been pleading for help all season, and they got him help. That's
did
my
it.
initial thought.
They did.
It's a huge risk. Kyrie Irving, he's going to be a free agent this summer. He's been what people want to say a cancer everywhere he's went since the Cavs. They don't know if he's going to re-sign, but I think this was a move you had to make if you're the Mavericks.
It's
don't think
definitely
it
a
was
win now
a-
move.
I don't think they made a huge risk. I think that, what was I gonna say? I feel like what you gave up wasn't terrible. Chances are he does resign. If not, you really didn't give up that much for him. I think they needed to take a shot at him. I think they needed to see Luka next to a second star, see how he can perform, how he handles the ball not being in his hands all the time. So,
I mean, I don't know if fine is the right word that I'd put in because they're giving up their secondary ball handler, which is what we've all been saying Luka's problem was.
yeah, but I feel
Yes.
like Spencer Dinwiddie
And
was
I'm
expendable.
Well, they
hypothetical
got
Kyrie
a
Reeves.
they
They
got
got a
secondary
primary ball handler as their
Yeah.
second
I'm gonna
secondary
be
ball
honest.
handler.
They did. But
I don't-
go ahead.
Go ahead. The Shields, take it away. Take it away.
All right. So here's basically this is how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from the perspective of this. We can't forget the most important detail, and it's that Kyrie's first choice was the Lakers, and his second choice was, I think it was the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Mavericks were his third choice, right? So they were the third team that he wanted to go to, and the owner, Joe Tsai, I don't even know how the fuck to say his name, right?
Sai.
He-
Yeah, it's just
his
Sai.
main goal, his main thing was to make sure that whatever team he traded him to was
Wasn't
not
the Lakers.
He did not want to trade him to his main destination. So to say that it's very likely that he resigns is not true. And
Yeah,
so
I
Mike
don't-
Leonard is the perfect example of that. Somebody that
So
went to a team
apparently what they
that
were
was
asking
perfect
for
him.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Apparently what they were asking for from the Lakers was like 2 first-round picks, pick swap, Max Christie, Austin Reeves, Russell Westbrook, multiple seconds. So far more than what the Mavericks ended up giving up.
Well, Austin Reeves is untouchable, so
Exactly. Austin Reeves is untouchable. So my initial thoughts on this trade when it all went down, obviously it didn't get finalized until like a couple hours ago today. There was still like talks for Fred VanVleet possibly getting involved and going to the Nets and stuff like that. And obviously that didn't end up happening. We'll see what happens from this point forward. But My initial thoughts were obviously Kyrie next to Luka is going to be insane, amazing pairing. But I still have questions with the Mavs. Where does the defense come from now? Like, you just lost your best perimeter defender in Dorian Finney-Smith. And, of course, Maxi Kleber will be coming back from injury, and that will help immensely. Josh Green, going to get more minutes in this rotation. Reggie Book, solid. But outside of those three, and those aren't even three elite defenders. None of them are elite. Where's the defense coming from now?
Not
And
coming from
that's my
backcourt.
biggest issue with this Mavs team. I don't think defensively you can keep up with some of these other teams. And while, yes, you could say that nobody can keep up with them offensively now, because that's a great argument, because Luka and Kyrie Irving are two of the most dynamic scorers in the league. But I don't know. I think defensively there's too many holes, and that's going to be their downfall. So I'm still iffy on the Mavs, but definitely a contender now. So I'll put that out there.
I'm not
All
gonna lie.
right.
Season was first coming underway. One of the main trades that I thought the Mavericks were gonna make was a trade for DeAndre Ayton, especially because of like how like he was so checked out in Phoenix, and I just felt like adding a big man like that, somebody that can rebound, be a rim protector, be somebody that you can use in the pick and roll. That was the kind of player that Luka could use, and then you could move somebody like Christian Wood to the 4 spot, or even keep him on the bench the way you wanted to. Right. And just run that lineup. And I felt like that would be something that would have been a much cheaper acquisition that would fulfill in some way what they
See,
need.
I get it, but respectfully, fuck DeAndre Ayton, because the dude's so ass. Like, he's so garbage, bro. I'm sick of this DeAndre.
He has regressed a lot, but
I gave him credit beginning of the season, and now I'm just like,
Yeah,
yo, he's
in
ass.
the
Like,
Shields defense, he did say at the beginning of the season.
yes, yeah, no, obviously. I don't think it was a bad idea at all, but Ayton's fucking ass, and he's just
No, he's bad.
he's bad. He's just not good at basketball.
So I'm gonna address some of the things that were just said in this podcast. The Lakers. So yeah, it might be a report that Joe Tsai what's the word I'm looking for? Purposely
Purposely,
didn't trade Kyrie to the Lakers. That may be true, because I understand it to an extent. Why would you trade him there? He's come and ruin your franchise almost. But also, the Lakers' offer was dog shit. Like, let's stop acting like the Lakers were offering this haul for Kyrie Irving that they couldn't turn down. It was Russell Westbrook and the 2 picks. And Russell Westbrook, you're just trading to dump salary at that point. If you're trading for Russell Westbrook, any team, you're not trading for Russell Westbrook. You're trading for cap space. And the Nets still have Kevin Durant. They have him under contract for the next 4 years. So in their minds, they still have to put a team around him that's competent. And as we saw today, the deal wasn't finalized until this afternoon. So they're clearly still working. They still have other moves in mind. I wouldn't be shocked if they make another move before Thursday. Spencer Dinwiddie is a good player. I've been preaching for Spencer Dinwiddie all year. I'm sad to see him go from Mavs Nation, my fandom, my team, my squadron. But he's a good player. He's reunited in his home, Brooklyn. He tweeted out that he's happy to be home, and as Theo Pinson says, immaculate vibes. And you got Dorian Finney-Smith back, who we all know is a solid defender, solid 3-and-D player. So the return wasn't awful. If we want to talk about a trade that maybe stacked up with it, it was the Suns offer, because the Suns offer was Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, and a first. And I heard another podcast talk about it, and they essentially said that Spencer Dinwiddie, you could make an argument, is the same caliber of player as Chris Paul right now. Chris Paul has regressed this season. He hasn't been that good. Obviously, they bring 2 completely different things to the table, and Chris Paul obviously clears him in terms of being a floor general and a natural point
I don't
guard. All
know,
that
man. That's a
stuff.
stretch, I feel like. Same
What?
level? Say Chris Paul and Spencer Dinwiddie on the same level?
This season.
This
I mean,
season, they're
overall,
definitely
I really
on the
don't think
same
so.
tier.
Bro, come
Overall, as a
on.
player, they're probably very similar this season. If
They
we're being
offer
Come on,
completely different things.
Yes,
This season,
I don't mean similar in terms
Bro,
of
Chris
play
Paul's
style.
ass this year.
Dean,
Okay, but
what's the argument for Chris Paul?
But what Chris Paul could do in terms of being that floor general, I know Spencer Dinwiddie isn't. That's not really completely fair to say, but what he could do, less players could do what Chris Paul could do, even at the level he's doing it at, not as great as he was doing before. Less people do what he does. than what Spencer Dinwiddie brings to the table.
I mean,
a lot more guys
I'm
can
not
put the fucking
saying-
ball in the
I'm not
I
basket.
saying-
respect
they're
CP3,
not the same.
but you need to
market
look
value.
at how much CP3 is getting paid. You need to look
I'm
at
not.
it.
Yeah,
big
I'm
picture.
not, and I'm not
And
saying.
When it comes down, when you compare value to value and how much they're being paid, they're literally like Chris Paul is overpaid as fuck.
Yeah,
That
but
contract is
any player his
basically
age is
untradeable. The
overpaid.
KD thing was probably the only opportunity they had to get rid of it.
Man, every player that's
Kyrie
Chris
James.
Paul's age besides LeBron James is overpaid.
But I'm not
Every
saying
every old
that.
player gets.
I'm not
gets huge
saying that
contracts.
Spencer Dinwiddie's skill set is more valuable than Chris Paul. So that's a different conversation. But just who's a better player, overall basketball player this season? There's an argument there. Chris Paul has not been good this season. And then you look at Dorian Finney-Smith and Jay Crowder. You can't convince me that you'd rather have Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder hasn't played in a year.
Well, I'd
Jay,
rather have
Jay hasn't played
Dorian Finney-Smith.
basketball, so
I
I
agree.
Jay
think
hasn't played
Dorian
any
Finney-Smith
basketball.
offers more just
Yeah.
as a basketball player.
Just
So,
because he plays.
and also in terms of what the Nets need, they just gave up their secondary shot creator. Chris Paul, as great as he is as a floor general, based on what we've seen this season as a shot creator, give me Spencer Dinwiddie. So I see it from the Nets' perspective. I think the Nets front office is a bunch of fools, though, for letting this happen. I think Kyrie is getting blamed for no reason. I just don't understand the Kyrie hate. So we start with the first thing, the pandemic sitting out. Those were unprecedented circumstances. We've never seen anything like that before in our lives. Was Kyrie right? No. Was Kyrie wrong? No, because I'm not in a position to make that decision. But we've never seen anything like that again. So to base your view of Kyrie Irving based on that is foolish, because we're never gonna encounter any situation like that ever again, probably in our lifetimes. Kyrie's made some mistakes. He's made some mistakes with the press. He said some messed up things, but as a basketball talent, like, let's not forget who this man is. He was playing like an all NBA player this season before the trade. So I think the Nets.
Continue.
I just think that if this man's asking for his money, you give him the money. Like, it's as simple as that. The Nets front office fumbled the situation.
I don't think
I
can.
also
See, that's where I was about to hop in.
Yeah,
real quick.
I
I'll
don't
let you
think
go
I don't
again.
think you can give him the money, because here's the thing. I agree with 100% what you said. He wasn't necessarily right to sit out, but he wasn't necessarily wrong to sit out. I kind of disagree with that in a sense, because it was his behavior afterwards. It is well within his right to sit out because he wants to not take something and not take the vaccine and not do certain things that will change, that have to do with his health and his body. That is his right. But for you to come back and kind of act entitled about that, kind of act like nobody should be looking at you in a negative kind of outlook, that you're blameless, when you literally sat out knowing fully well this team needs you and KD to win, that's not right. And then he didn't take any accountability with his teammates either. It was to the point where there was a stretch where KD and Kyrie were not talking because of that. So it's not a situation where, like, oh, my team's good with me, the coach is good with me, and it's just fans. No, the front office is pissed because they didn't know you're going to do it. KD is pissed because he didn't know you're going to do that for as long as you did. The team is in disarray. And there was a whole entire situation with Steve Nash, which was eventually, fixed up with Jake Vaughn coming in there, the coach that all the players preferred, who's come there and completely changed the culture in the locker room to the point where they're actually gelling, believes in Ben Simmons, believes in everybody on the team, right? And so there's just so much stuff. He really burnt every possible bridge he could have there. And so when I saw that report coming out about how he was saying there's no amount of money that can make me stay, it's facts. They didn't want to give it to you and you didn't want it, because you don't want to be in a place where you're not wanted, and you don't want to be in a place where you can literally feel the tension when you walk into the room. And regardless of how many games they won, that is exactly how it was.
So to go off of that, I was about to say almost the exact same thing. The Shields hit on all of it. I'm not against the fact that Kyrie Irving, the player, is well deserving of all the money in the world. Like, that man is obviously a game changer, probably a top 15 player in the NBA when he's on the court. But it's not just getting Kyrie Irving the player, it's getting Kyrie Irving the person. And I'm not saying Kyrie's a bad person. From every account, everybody loves the man. but there's baggage that comes with Kyrie Irving, and that's part of the issue. You're not going to pay the man $200 million when you don't really know if the next day he's going to want to suit up and play basketball. He's already said it in the past. He doesn't need basketball anymore. He doesn't care enough to play basketball anymore. Like, obviously the passion's still there. He's still a hooper, but it's different. It's just different. Like, he said it a million times to the press, like, yo, like, basketball is just like, it's fun, cool, but like, I could stop tomorrow and like, I don't care. So I don't know. There's more to it than just the player Kyrie Irving. I
just think the Nets front office kind of had a thing for Kyrie Irving this whole time he's been there.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
100%.
been a back and forth with them, and it's been on both sides. And it's just like, how many times are you going to get a chance to have two of the highest level players in the game play next to each other with KD and Kyrie Irving?
At Harden too.
Right, and it just can't just be all Kyrie Irving's blame. And I mean, look at this trade. You set the franchise back a few years. Like, let's be real, man. Like, they're not gonna do anything this year with the roster as is, and KD's probably gonna be gone if they don't make any significant changes to the roster. So you set the franchise back, and you had a championship window. A lot of people were calling you favorites for the past 3 years. You know what I mean?
We had them in the finals.
I blame, honestly, that's a combination of blame. That's Kyrie's fault to an extent, for everything that he's done off the court to mess up the chemistry. That's also, I'd say it's KD and Kyrie's fault, though, because, and I stand behind this, if they had left the roster alone and just ran with that duo and J.A. and LeVert and Dinwiddie and just kept the team as it was, they would have won immediately, because it was well-rounded. They ran into so many issues because they tried to be the top dog and bring in Harden. Now I understand you take an opportunity to bring in a player like that, but you fucked up everything by doing that, because they basically you look at what's happened in Cleveland. They handed Jared Allen to Cleveland, and he's, between him and Mobley, single-handedly changed the trajectory of the team to the point where them being there takes off the defensive responsibility of guys like Garland, where the offense can be seamless enough that you're actually an appealing destination for Donovan Mitchell to come to. And then that changes the whole entire you literally took Cleveland from being, we're still trying to heal from being post-Braun to now we're about to be one of the top 3 contenders for the next 7 years, right? And then the Harden thing does not work out, and you take another player that has damage. It gets to the point where it's like, it's the franchise, but it's also the players. Them trying to be big and them trying to recruit instead of just following the blueprint of what a good, fundamental, well-rounded basketball team is what fucked up their trajectory. And and it all started when the two of them recruited James Harden.
The Sixers knew damn well what they were sending to Brooklyn in Ben Simmons. They knew that man was broken, and they sold that broken man for James Harden, who's helping the Sixers be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference right now. The Nets really fucked up. First of all, like you said, getting Harden, getting rid of LeVert and Jared Allen, all those side pieces, and they got back after James Harden. After that didn't work, after he got hurt in the playoffs. And they got back to a shell of an NBA player, which fucked up their whole fucking offense, pretty much. Their offense is unplayable when he's on the fucking court. You know, that outweighs whatever defense he brings to the table. Don't shake your head. He fucking sucks, bro. He puts up less than 10 points a game.
With KD and Kyrie.
With KD, they kind of fuck shit up, because then KD doesn't have to worry about defense so much.
Yes, but he's playing elite.
Commanding for the ball, offensive rebounds. Ben just gets the ball. Where's KD at? Ball, right? And even now, and then you can see in some ways KD and even Kyrie, when they first came back, are trying to get Ben to be like, yo, Ben, go dunk the fucking ball. And he'll actually do it at times. So I'm not going to come at Ben like that. But the fact of the matter is, it comes down to the individual. Kyrie is a phenomenal player on the court, but he's selfish. And Harden was selfish too. He's been selfish. Magically, he's become unselfish. We waived his player option in Philly so he could take less money. They could buy Tucker and buy a whole bunch of people, which is some fucking bullshit.
So he could bring back the Houston squad. He wanted to bring back the Houston squad.
Literally. You became unselfish in Philly after being selfish in Houston and on the Nets. That's kind of crazy to me. But like, it's just they're both selfish people. So it's
I
like
think I think
great.
all in all, though, this was obviously we just went on about it for 10 minutes. This Nets tenure with KD and Kyrie Irving is the greatest failure in sports
Failure.
history.
Oh,
Massive
100%.
failure.
So, with that being said, I think they took the best offer on the table. My point really in that was that whole spiel I made was I personally think you give Kyrie his money and you ride it out until it can't be ridden out no more. Because with KD and Kyrie, you have somewhat of a chance. No matter what, with those two on your roster, you'll have a chance. But it is what it is. Like I said, I think they took the best offer on the table. I don't think they got fleeced by any means in this trade. I think they got a pretty good return. They got guys who are movable. They got a 2029 first, which you never know what that could end up being. The pick's unprotected
Yep.
6 years from now. So I think it was a good return. About the Mavericks defense, so this is where things are crazy. So the Dallas Mavericks this year, without Dorian Finney-Smith, because Dorian Finney-Smith now all of a sudden since he got traded is this defensive stopper who is irreplaceable. The Mavericks have a 9-5 record without Dorian Finney-Smith this year. They went on their 7-game win streak without Dorian Finney-Smith in the lineup. The Mavericks have defenders. The defense is not good. The team defense isn't good. The team defense already wasn't good though. Dorian
24th.
Finney-Smith
Yeah.
Right. Dorian Finney-Smith wasn't making you a great defense. So you give an opportunity for a guy like Josh Green to get more minutes. Josh
That's what I
Green
said,
in the
yep.
in this very game tonight had 29 points. 29 points. Josh Green could play D. He could stop people. He's athletic. He's been great this season in his
He has.
limited minutes. He's going to get more minutes. Reggie Bullock, like you said before we started recording, he's not an elite defender by any stretch of the matter,
Really
but
good
he's
team defender.
more than good. He will take the tough assignment and
Yep.
things won't be easy for them. He's not going to lock nobody down, but he'll at least make life difficult for you. We talked about Maxi Kleber. Maxi Kleber, in my opinion, is an elite defender because of his versatility. He could
Yes.
rim protect well. He could guard on the perimeter. He's normally the guy that when they were playing the playoffs versus the Clippers, he was getting the Kawhi
Guarded
matchup.
Kawhi,
So,
yeah.
Right. So Maxi Kleber is more than capable of guarding. Will he be healthy come playoff time? We'll see. But Christian Wood's improved this year as a rim protector. I don't think Tim Hardaway Jr. is this god-awful, can't-be-played defender. He could hold his own for stretches. He's not cooked toast. It's not like the defense sees Tim Hardaway Jr. and it's, all right, we're going at Tim Hardaway Jr. every single time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not burnt toast. He's not good.
No. He's
No,
not
definitely
he's
not
not
good.
one of the 5 worst defenders in the NBA.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
no.
Luka has shown this year he's a more than serviceable defender. So I don't think the defense is god awful as people think it is. I think the defense already wasn't good as is. So you get Kyrie Irving. This is Kyrie motherfucking Irving we're talking about here. I really think we're forgetting we're not realizing how good this man is. We've said all season the energy was the Mavs won't win anything. They don't have a secondary ball handler. The question all year had nothing to do with their defense. Since the trade, this is the first I'm hearing about the Mavericks defense. And it wasn't good before the trade.
No,
This is the
it's not.
first I'm hearing about the defense, so being
That's
so
fair.
bad. That was never, you know, a reason for concern, if you want to say that, for the Mavericks. The concern was they lost Jalen Brunson. They have absolutely nothing to replace him. Kyrie Irving, career Jalen Brunson. We all know, like that doesn't even need to be said.
That's
But
I still
He
think
I don't know,
their
man.
window
I don't
this year-
know.
I still think their window this year is non-existent, though. With all due respect, because like the Nuggets are gonna do what the Nuggets do, right?
They're also going to
I
make
mean,
a move.
They're also going to make a move after this. They're going to have to get some type of perimeter defense in their lineup of their own, because outside of Bruce Brown, they don't have any, right?
KCP,
Michael
Aaron
Porter,
Gordon,
and
but yeah.
KCP, right? And KCP. And Aaron Gordon has definitely made some strides as a defender. I definitely got to give him his props. But they do want to get some depth in that rotation as far as defense. Like the Pelicans, I know some people, they've been on a badass losing streak, but I do attribute that to Brandon Ingram being injured. when Brandon Ingram and Zion were playing, I genuinely thought the Pelicans have a legit chance. The same can be said for like the Grizzlies. Up until this point, they've been on a shitty stretch. Apparently, now every team that goes in there just beats their ass. But I still feel like you can't really count them out as a team, right?
The Mavericks
Suns.
clear the Grizzlies.
I was about to say,
Mavs-
okay,
The Mavericks
think-
would sweep the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are a damn good team. The
I
Mavericks
completely
would
agree with you,
would
Chris.
beat
I
them in
think they're the
4.
biggest frauds in the world, to be
I think
honest.
I know.
I think
I
they're
think the
frauds
Grizzlies
too,
are
but it's
legit.
just
I
kinda
just think the
weird.
matchup against the Mavericks, they would actually they clear them. Luka Doncic would make silly, easy work of Dillon Brooks, and then they have no one who's staying in front of Kyrie Irving. I don't care about the rim protection, bro. The Mavs have the 2
Besides-
best players in the series.
besides the
It's as simple as
Nuggets,
that.
besides the Nuggets, the West is wide the fuck open.
No, it
Wide
is.
the fuck open.
No. I think the Pelicans are legit. I think if there's one
Bro,
defender,
you can't say
if there's
anything until
one
Zion
defender
comes
you can
back.
stick on Luka or Kyrie, it's Herb Jones. If there's one defender you can stick on
You
Luka
can't
or
guard
Kyrie,
both of them, though.
Bro, I was about to say, give me Luka and fucking Kyrie Irving over one.
I mean,
Herb
they
Jones
look.
any
They
day
also
of the
have.
week.
They also have Trey Murphy. At
Trey
bare
Murphy.
No, the
minimum, he's a-
Pelicans are really solid. I do.
Alvarado
Bi Bi is a decent defender in his
No,
No,
he's really not. He's
But yeah,
really
Winston's
not.
man,
having a
I
bad
don't-
fucking stretch.
I agree with Dean. Well, he just got back from injury, so he'll
Yes.
be
Still,
fine.
he hasn't been
B.I.'s
good
still-
since he came back.
Bi
but-
still the best player on that team. But
No, stop. it.
No. I'm not gonna lie. Bi when he was playing was better than Zion. I gotta.
we
keep
don't have to do that, now,
Bro,
though.
come
to-
on.
To Dean's point,
He was.
the West is wide open, and we've been saying all season. Obviously, I've had the Mavericks as a real life contender. I picked them to win the championship. I haven't backed off that statement once this year. I've been on it all season when they were struggling. When
We've
they were
been
hot.
arguing every.
Yeah,
fucking podcast about
I've
it.
been on it all year, but
I'm not
but
gonna
to the
lie.
general
It's
media,
still
the
Nuggets Celtics to me,
the
bro.
thing about the Mavericks was they have Luka, so they could go on a run. They just made the Western Conference Finals, so with Luka, anything is possible. I would, it was pretty much consensusly. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mavericks go out and win the West. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been a big culture shock to anyone if that team went out and won the West. Now you get Kyrie motherfucking Irving, bro. Like, you are as legit as they come. They give matchup problems to every team in the West. And, there's a lot of matchup problems in the West that I think it kind of negates each other in a sense because, like, you can make the argument for the Nuggets. Who's stopping
Who's
Jokic?
who's guarding
Right.
Jokic?
But who's
Nobody.
guarding Luka? Who's guarding Steph Curry? Who's guarding Zion? That's why these guys are superstars. Like, you're not going to stop those guys. So it kind of cancels out in a sense. But now
Yeah.
you have the best number 2 in the entire NBA,
That's true.
Kyrie,
But
motherfucking
I
Irving.
still
They
still
could
think-
shoot the shit out of the ball. Christian Wood's been phenomenal. And the thing about Kyrie Irving and Christian Wood as your 2 and 3, I pointed this out in my TikTok. Not only are they a great 2 and 3 option to have, they're more than capable of playing off the ball, which obviously that's what they will spend most of their time doing, as you have Luka Doncic. But man, if you run Kyrie Irving and Christian Wood with your second unit, those guys are more than capable of creating for themselves. There's not going to be a second of 48 minutes for a Mavs game where they don't have a real life threat to kill you on offense.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if for the rest of the season from this point on, they're the best offense in the NBA. Like, that's how great they are. Obviously, they might, go through a little bit of a growing pain phase. They just made a trade. They have to figure it out. But Luke is a top 10, top 5 offense by himself. So
I mean, look, at the end of what I was saying, the last sentence I said was, but the Mavs are now contenders. Like, I absolutely think they're in the contender tier now.
They're in the
There's no
contending
question
tier
about
now.
that.
I still
I
think
just
that it's just not going to happen though. Like,
Yeah,
it's
no,
just-
I agree. And also, historically, a trade deadline trade has never led to an NBA championship when it's this big of a piece, at least,
Mhm.
or at least in this stratosphere. So, I mean, look, with that being said, I think the Mavs are capable of it, but I don't think this is the season. If there is a season, I think next season is absolutely within the realm of possibility
they
if
need to add people though.
Kyrie Irving stays.
Uh-huh.
We don't know what Kyrie's gonna do. He's been the most unpredictable player probably in the entire league, so we don't know what Kyrie's gonna do. He might want to force himself to LA. That's obviously been the most rumored thing. So Yes, I think the Mavs are contenders, but no, I don't think this is the season that everything comes together fully.
Yeah.
So
I do
Ortiz, what are
think
you
that they're a
thinking, bro?
second. I do think
Okay.
that they might be a Western, depending on which side they end up on. They could very well be a Western Conference Finals lock, though, to make it.
Well,
go.
before you go, Ortiz, sorry. You say that to Shields. I tweeted out a few days ago before the trade. Let me find the exact tweet. It was a picture of the Western Conference standings. The Mavericks were at 6. So tweeted out the standings and I said if the standings finish like this, the Mavs are a lock to go to the Western Conference Finals. They were the 6 seed, the Kings are the 3 seed. Kings are a great story. They make work of and I'm talking about now with Kyrie Irving. They make work of the Kings.
It's probably a sweep.
Right. And then you go on to play the Grizzlies are the 2 seed. You go on to play the Grizzlies in the
You're
second
beating
round.
the Grizzlies.
Making work of the Grizzlies. I'm sorry, the Grizzlies are a really good team. They really are, but the Grizzlies do not stand a chance. I'm sorry, bro. The Grizzlies don't stand a chance. The way, it depends on how the seedings go because like you said, I think the Pelicans are a super tough matchup for them. The Pelicans are legit. Like I think the Pelicans are a really good team and they have bodies to throw multiple bodies to throw at those guys.
And
So
the
I
length.
think
I think that's
right,
the biggest thing for the
right, the
Pelicans.
Pelicans aren't no cakewalk for the Mavs, but like I just pointed out, if the seeding ends up a certain way, it could literally be a cakewalk to the Western Conference Finals for the Mavs. And
Yeah.
Ortiz, what do you think?
The Mavs definitely made a good deal. I think with their progression, I don't know. You guys said mostly everything. I was just here listening.
Or
But
I
go
I-
Mavs.
we were talking about teams that could contend as well. We were talking about that obviously. The Suns need to be mentioned, especially with how they're playing recently. Like
I don't know about that. So
I'm sorry. I
I
know
don't think
people
Book
don't love
coming
that.
back can fix it. Like Book coming back will fix.
They've looked really
the
good
objective
recently
problem.
without Book.
I don't think it's like everybody's they kind of passed them, right? Because like, don't get me wrong, Michael Bridges, phenomenal perimeter defender. But all the other teams in the West, like the player that they have, it's almost like Michael Bridges can guard anybody. You put Michael Bridges on Luka,
absolutely.
Luka
Yeah.
trashes his shit. You put him on Kyrie, destroying him. BI has BI. The only person of all the top teams or all the teams that we think are going to be contenders that I've actually seen him guard and capably shut down in the West is probably BI. The rest of them, they've made work of the Suns. And Book coming back there is going to add like some offense, but I still feel like they're coming in there. They have no chemistry. It probably is the worst chemistry in the NBA, aside from maybe the Nets before and now after this trade. The worst chemistry of all the top teams.
I don't know about the worst. I mean, they've played together for
Michael and Aiden are fighting every 2 seconds.
No, Mikal and Aiden are boys. I mean, those two are vibing out to Young Boy before every fucking game. So I mean, those exactly. Those two are vibing out. I mean, look, the whole
Monty
Ayton situation is just it is what it is. I mean, there's not much I can even say about that.
It's
I
frustrating as a basketball fan.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's just playing this shitty because he's just not good at basketball or
he
if
doesn't
he
want
just
to be there.
exactly
Mentally, he's just
doesn't
checked
want to
out.
be
He
there.
doesn't give a shit anymore. They should not have matched the offer sheet. They should have let him go to Indiana.
Yeah, but you're not going to let him walk for nothing.
Right, they want something back. They'll still get something back for him right now.
I still think you're capably getting at least the first round pick, if not more. I mean, that he's still the first overall pick, no matter what we think about him. He's shown the flashes offensively. I mean, he will draw something on the trade market of substance.
I feel like if you're going out there, bro, fucking play. Play your fucking ass off. Like you're getting paid to fucking play. I get you don't want to be there. Let the fucking general manager know. Let the front office know you don't want to be there. But at least fucking show up and play, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to make it easier if you ball
just
the fuck
sit
out.
out. Just sit out if you're gonna fucking bullshit. If you're not gonna fucking play hard and play like everybody knows you could play, don't play.
But it's just
really
wild
that
to me
simple.
because like Monty flat out does not like him. There's a number of people in the front office who do not like him, and he's still there. Like I'm just surprised they haven't traded him yet. Like
The
literally,
fan,
people do not like him.
Yeah. Well, they can't trade him yet, right?
CP3 doesn't like you. Like
No,
Monty
I'm
doesn't like
pretty
you.
sure they can now. I'm pretty
They
sure they
can
can
now?
now.
Yeah.
It's just
They're
it's
cool, the Suns. It's just, they're the Suns. Like
yeah,
they were supposed to win it
exactly.
all last year, and Luca destroyed them in Game 7. So they have a sour taste in their mouth. They haven't been healthy this season. It's tough. We haven't really, like I just said, we haven't really seen them at full strength this year. So they were really good in the beginning of the season, but it's hard to really see where they sit. They definitely need to make a move, though. I
KD
don't.
triple bust to
Jay
me.
Crowder really fucked him.
Yeah, I think they're really in that lower tier of teams, like not teams in the West, but playoff teams in the West. Like they're not up there. I'd be shocked if the Suns went to the finals. I'll tell you that much. Shocked.
No, I would too. I absolutely would too. But I just think people are counting them out way more than they should.
They
With
could
the
win a
book,
series if they're the 7th seed. I could see them winning a series,
yeah, no,
you know,
I agree.
but they're not
I
really.
will say, let's transition to the Nets side so we could just talk about that a little bit. Obviously we spoke a little bit how the management didn't want them, but in terms of the basketball aspect, obviously this changes the entire landscape in the East in a way. So in terms of the balance of power in the East, do the Nets now legitimately fall out of that top 4,
No,
essentially?
I think that like it's too, the East is too kind of, it's interesting because the Nets were, when Kyrie and KD were there, the Nets were without a doubt the second best team in the East after the Celtics. And I feel like KD and Simmons on their by themselves can still figure out how to be, a top 4 team, top 5 team, because the other teams have too many problems. The Knicks can be in that mix, in that range, but then there's RJ Barrett. Like, Brunson's amazing,
Wow.
Rando's okay, but RJ Barrett, who else is in that area off
The
the top of
Heat.
my head? The Heat, like
They're
the
coming.
Heat are a team that
Pause.
you can't say that they're going to be amazing, but you also can't count them out because in the playoffs,
Yes.
Jimmy Butler likes to wake up, you know. Like
Bam's been hooping.
the only team that really, like, to me, like, they're still the only team they really can't beat is Boston, to be honest. And now the Bucks, without
Yeah.
Kyrie, the Bucks will beat your ass. With or without Middleton, it does not matter.
There's
But I still think they're a lock to finish 3rd, maybe 4th, just based on, if KD has to miss a game for soreness or something. But I still feel like they're a top 4 team.
I mean, and Cam Thomas, if he keeps fucking balling, they'll have no problems. They'll be fine. If Cam Thomas can keep dropping 40 fucking points, they'll be just fine.
It depends on
Yeah.
how they add him into the rotation. They could easily just put Dinwiddie in and still bench him. They've been doing that,
Yeah,
Cam
I think
Thomas
they
didn't
could
get minutes when Kyrie was not playing, sitting out, not playing. They never.
they could win a playoff series. They could win a couple playoff series this year. They're still, I think, more than capable.
So I'll pose this, Ortiz. I want you to be the first to answer this question. So I ask, if the Cavs and the Nets, the season ended today, everyone's healthy, who are we taking in a series?
Without Kyrie, I'm going to say Cavs in 6. I feel.
Okay.
I feel like the Cavs already had a good shot at beating the Nets with Kyrie. Not a good shot, but there was a chance, obviously. But in a 7-game series, I feel like that defense is going to hone in on Kevin Durant. That's their number 1 priority. They'll let everyone else beat them. And I just think there's not enough firepower on that net team without Kyrie Irving to beat the Cavs.
I honestly think that it could go either way in 6 because with as good as the Cavs are offensively, and although the Nets are losing a major offensive piece in Kyrie, they literally have a different small forward every other day in Cleveland. Like, that literally is their position of weakness, and that is the Nets' very position of strength, their wings. So it's like, now Ben Simmons is going to have to take on a larger role, and without having Kyrie as a shot creator on the perimeter, definitely they're going to shut them down more. But now you're just going to put KD in a situation where he's just like, okay, I'm going to cook LeVert, or I'm going to cook Okoro, or I'm going to cook Osman, or whoever you decide to put in front of me tonight. They're done, And then if you think that you're going to, like, it'd be a waste of Evan Mobley or even Jared Allen to just play help defense while somebody guards KD on the perimeter. It's just going to open up everything else. I still feel like it goes 50-50 in 6, simply because the Cavs have made no effort to fix that small forward wing defense problem. No effort.
Dean?
Cavs and Nets. I
Yes.
feel like, I mean, I kind of agree with the Shields. I feel like it can go either way. I feel like the Cavs have a really good defense, really good bigs. I feel like Nick Claxton has really come into his own this year and can hold his own against, both Mobley and Jared Allen. Um, the Nets have the best player in the series, so it would be hard to count them out and say they can't do it. Um, I think Spencer Dinwiddie's going to be a really good fit in Brooklyn. He's been there before. He slides right in either as a six man or gets into the rotation. Um, I'm gonna take the Nets. They still got the best player in the series. KD's still a top 5 player in the world. I think he could win a playoff series.
The Shield's gut feeling, final opinion.
Um,
And then I'm getting to Chris.
yeah,
You got to pick one.
shit. Honestly, I'm gonna go with the Nets. Like, because I've seen Garland and Donovan just have too many days where it's like, yo, you just dropped 35 and beat the shit out of somebody, and then the next night you got 20, you know? And like neither of these guys are particularly good at defense, like I've been saying this since like, and I feel like I've been saying this with OB of like for years. If Ben ever wakes up one day and decides, you know what, everybody who's guarding me is like 6'1" or 6'3" because I'm playing point guard and I can just beat you, like it's literally raps. Those are two short
Yes.
guys who cannot play defense.
Agreed.
KD's going to cook. Like I've seen Levert. They literally blew like a 30-point lead, 25-point lead because they can't defend small forwards.
No, they can't.
Like, so I gotta go. I'm gonna have to go with the Nets, honestly.
Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going with the Nets too. I think you guys pretty much said everything. The Nets are still a really deep team. The Nets have have pretty much everything you could ask for in a team. They have a superstar. They have great complementary pieces. Spencer Dinwiddie is going to fit in there seamlessly. You add another 3-and-D wing in Dorian Finney-Smith. Your lineup now is Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, KD, with Dorian and then Nick Claxton. You have elite defense. You have really good scoring. You still have spacing off the bench. You have Joe Harris. You have Seth Curry. You have Yuta Watanabe. I think they still need a backup big, and I don't
Yep.
think they're done. I expect them to make another move come Thursday, but also, while we're on the subject, I mean, versus the Cavs, I'm taking the Nets because, like you said, the Shields, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are very on and off. Donovan Mitchell has not been good recently.
No, he really hasn't.
He's been okay, but I mean, I'm looking at his game log right now. Like, there's a lot of bad games: 11 points, 16 points, 14 points.
Some of those games end up in W's because everyone else is getting theirs. Like Darius Garland, especially recently, has come back into his own. He's been having
places, and they need to
far
be
better
good at the
games.
same time.
Yes, they need to be good at the
get
same
good.
time.
Because
Completely agree.
when the season first started, it was Don, partially because Garland fucked up his eye and he was missing the first couple of games. But then also when he came in, like Donovan had already assimilated and become more of a point guard than he's ever been in Utah, where he was actually playmaking, actually finding people, making good decisions. Like he was getting more double doubles to start the season than I ever really saw him getting in Utah, to be honest, for years.
He was playing point guard, yeah.
Really just being the point guard in the offense. So like, and then Garland was just trying to find his place and all that. And like, even when he first joined, I think I might have said this in the beginning, I didn't like the fit. Because every time I see
Agreed.
2 point guards that are short, it just brings me back to Portland. That shit does not work. That shit does not work. You need a two-way kind of guy that's there. And for years I was saying Don should have been a full-time point guard somewhere anyway. He never should have been able to get by all those years in Utah, just being an off guard, no, you needed to become a point because you're 6'1". You cannot just be a scorer. Otherwise, you need to be next to Lonzo or Simmons yourself, So it's like,
Yeah, but
I mean,
all in all, I think the Nets are really good though. Like they're not a favorite in the East. There's definitely a tier gap between the Celtics are in their own tier, the Bucks and Sixers are in a tier, and they're in that tier right there with the Cavs. And then there's another tier gap. maybe you put the Heat in that tier with them, but probably
Heat
not
and the
as of
Knicks.
right now. Knicks aren't in that tier.
Knicks are not in that tier.
But like I said, I
Not gonna
don't
lie,
think
with
the
how
Nets are
bad
done.
Toronto is, and Indiana's just winning because the other teams are injured or suck.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
it's
just don't
not,
think the
it's,
Knicks. It's not about the teams below them. It's about just the Nets and Cavs. The Knicks
Bingo.
just aren't in the tier of the Nets and Cavs. But I don't think the Nets are done. I don't think the Mavericks are done either. I think we could
I agree.
see both of these teams make another move come Thursday. So should be interesting to see what they do if they
I've
do
heard
anything.
Pascal Siakam's name thrown around a lot as a possible person they could get, but I don't know how they're going to get Pascal.
Jared Vanderbilt's name's been around all day. He actually recently liked a tweet about housing in Dallas.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt would be
That would be
literally
huge
perfect.
pickup.
Though.
That'd be a huge
Goddamn.
pickup. Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, his
there.
price seems cheap, man. It doesn't seem like the Jazz are asking for too much back for him. So if I'm the Mavs, I go and get that guy.
they made everybody available except for Laurie. So honestly, you
Yeah.
can raid the team.
There's going to be a lot of movement within the next
Yeah.
couple of days, I think. In terms
Very
of, I don't
excited.
think there's any more massive moves on the horizon. I don't think Pascal Siakam's going to get moved.
I do think
OG
if
should
not
be
Pascal,
gone.
OG is gone.
OG.
OG,
Yes.
is
OG should be
definitely
gone.
Yes, I think that'll be the highest magnitude of a move that'll happen. I mean, maybe the Nets shake it up and pull something
No,
out
no
of there.
Zach Levine, right?
No,
it doesn't seem like it.
That's-
There was
that's
a
smoke.
report that came out. Yeah, there was a report that came out earlier today that the Bulls will not be
Bulls
falling
had a
for
great
any
win
deals.
tonight. Andre
So-
Drummond looked like Kareem Abdul-Drummond.
What about the Lakers? Are they gonna do something? What are they gonna do?
I don't think aside from they could be in an OG trade, they could be in a Conley trade, they could be in something for Fred VanVleet and Trent, but it's unlikely. Like I think the Lakers will not do anything. Like with all due respect to Rob Pelinka, I don't think he knows what he's doing. He dug himself
What a
hole.
failure that fucking guy is.
He
Jesus
dug himself a
Christ.
hole the past like between the 80 contract and they have no money.
I'm just throwing it out there. It is a good deal with Utah if you could somehow get Conley, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt somehow, some way. If the Lakers could pull that shit off, that's answering almost all of your questions in one trade right there. So
That's true.
That still doesn't make you.
Oh
It
no,
still
that
doesn't
moves the
put
needle
you-
for me.
I
get
think that
them
makes
good.
them a
But
contender. If I'm
it
being
doesn't put
completely
you on the
honest,
level of the Nuggets still, I don't think.
Yes, it does.
I
I'm
think
gonna
it
be.
does.
I think
Definitely
it does.
The
does.
I
Nugget-
think it does.
I think it
Yeah,
does.
Not in a half
Ortiz,
season.
talk to us, bro.
Not in a
Yes,
half
please,
season,
Ortiz.
bro.
I want to hear this.
Tell
Yeah.
Dean why it does put them on the tier of the Nuggets, please.
I think, I mean, the Lakers' biggest problem was role playing, and AD being hurt, obviously, but
Role playing.
role playing.
You like role play, Ortiz?
My
Yeah.
boy
You
loves his
like
role
role
play.
play? Continue.
But the Lakers, obviously, that was their biggest problem. I think solving that and having AD and LeBron both at 100% health, obviously, mostly AD. But I think having AD and LeBron just simply wins you series, and it has in the past. Obviously, they have a ring to show for it. Just AD and LeBron, just the best duo in the NBA.
I think
Yeah.
the basically the blueprint to winning as the Lakers is you need to have a crop of players that can help LeBron win games for when AD is inevitably not going to be available. And that's not the team that's not the team that Rob Pelinka put together this past year. That's not how they've been looking at it, and that's why they've been unsuccessful. Honestly, fuck the superstar thing. Never should have really gotten the Westbrook idea. I'm willing to admit that I was wrong about that. I thought that, but I'm like looking at it, hindsight being 2020. Westbrook fitting on the Lakers was tangent on AD being available because that would have been a pick and roll kind of thing. AD being an agile big man at the 5, running, and Westbrook bringing pace to an offense while LeBron sits. Right, LeBron and
He's still
Russ,
10 out of 10 would have taken Kuz and KCP over what Westbrook's been doing.
Absolutely.
With
I
hindsight,
would.
yeah.
Yes,
I would.
in hindsight, yes.
Yeah. In hindsight,
Is it really hindsight? I feel like we
I
all
still
knew
think
Russ was like.
I still think Kuz does not become what he's. There's no way he's still basically Kuz from when he was on the Lakers. He does not.
I would agree with that statement. But
not
Kuz,
become-
when he was on the Lakers, was still better than we give him
Better than
credit
we-
for. Like, yes. So
I think he's still gotten better. He once he's played more in Washington and got more shots, he's been playing better than he was on the Lakers.
No, that's
so
his
real quick.
point. He's saying he wouldn't
Yeah,
be what he is now if he was still on the Lakers.
but he
So
would
what?
still
The Lakers would be better.
no. They'd be in the same
I-
predicament they were in 2020.
I think they could. You could possibly say they'd
They
be
won a
better.
championship.
I
They
think
would be
so.
better.
Same
Kuz and
predicament.
KCP,
You'll
Kuz
take
and
same
KCP with
predicament.
this team would be better because
No.
KCP is one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA. I
Don't
think
get me
KCP moves the needle more than
They won
Kuzma.
a ring.
It does.
Kyrie
You're telling me
would
that
move
Here's what
they're
I'm
going to
saying.
be in
Here's
the
what I'm
same
saying.
spot.
The 2020 roster is the 2020 team. That's the team that won the title. The 2021 team is the team that makes the playoffs with ease but loses. And then you have the team that it is right now. With Kuz and KCP, they're a team that's a playoff lock. There's no, are they going to make the play-in? They're one of the worst teams in the NBA, but they're still not winning shit because Kuz is not going to, he does not take this leap that he's made on the Wizards if he's still on the Lakers. They still would have had to move him or get somebody that could help them become a contender again, but at least they wouldn't have playoff questions. They have playoff
I
questions.
agree with that because I think Kuzma was a good fit on the Lakers, but at that time his time there was just done. You know what I mean? He was throwing around rumors for a year and a half, whatever it was. Like it was just time to move on and go their separate ways.
And they were desperate to trade for a
Russell
star.
Westbrook.
They
yeah.
had to.
So
because
No,
of
it was
Harden thing.
yeah. I mean, it was a failure. I don't think the Russ thing is really the failure. I think that it's everything that's happened preceding that or after. Is preceding before?
yeah,
Or
Preceding-
after?
yeah.
the
Preceding
proceedings
is
before.
I meant after.
Yeah,
After
everything
that,
happened after as well. Mhm.
yeah,
S-
everything that happened
so-
after is where they fell.
So Dean, I'll end this question right here on this. Obviously you said you don't think Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt moves the needle. Why? Why does it not move the needle for the Lakers?
I think only for this season. I think it's really hard for three brand new players to assimilate into a rotation with the best player in the world, with two of the most dynamic players. I don't think you could just throw three guys into a rotation and call them contenders and think they're going to make noise now or in the playoffs. I think maybe if you go on to next season, yeah, have a whole season together, fix up the roster a little bit more, get that rotation down to where you really, really want it. Yeah, shave off a couple pieces,
I
but
can understand the logic, but I actually think it's the reverse. I think the fact that they're playing with a guy like LeBron and playing with a guy like AD that already know what their game is, adding three people that already have their roles set out, like you bring
Yes.
three people into the roster, they already know what to do. Jared Vanderbilt,
Yes.
you are literally just going to be guarding the best perimeter defender so that AD can just man the paint. I don't need to worry about AD stepping out to guard somebody on a switch. You're going to stay on whoever the freaking wing is. If that's Zion, if that's Giannis, if that's Brandon Ingram, whoever it is, that's your
Or he
job.
comes off the
Malik
bench next to
Beasley.
Thomas Bryant.
Yes. Malik
Like-
Beasley is like Malik, I need you to be the catch and shoot spot up guy, alternating with Lonnie or
Run off
alternating
pin downs. Just
run off
chuck 'em.
pin downs and just shoot. Mike Conley, your only job is to be the point guard when LeBron sits, to spot up three when LeBron is on the
Yes.
floor, and to run pick and roll with AD when he's ready to do it. The rules are so set out and easy. It's just, for me, it's just a matter of, I don't think that's I just feel like Mike Conley can do that. I just don't trust Mike Conley in the same way that I would trust other people. But the roles are easy, and this is stuff that they can easily do.
But that's in the sense of you're now talking about, like, obviously LeBron and AD are your top two. And I mean, look, Mike Conley is you could argue he's not even your third best player at that point. I mean, in any combination of a Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, even Rui Hachimura on some nights, for all we fucking know, maybe getting buckets. I mean, you now have the depth to be able to say that maybe on any given night we're going to have another guy following LeBron and AD and just giving us 15 to 20, just being that third guy. On any given night, we'll have at least one guy doing that for us on a nightly
Yes.
basis. And of course, I mean, Conley's still one of the better guys in the league in running the pick and roll. I mean, he's one of the best lob passers in the entire league. Obviously, Walker Kessler is having a fantastic season. Mike Conley is part of that. He's part of the reason that he's having such a successful rookie season. I just think, as you said, their roles are so defined already that now they step into an even better situation where they'll get even better shots next to a guy like LeBron and a guy like Anthony Davis. So,
yeah,
the Lakers would be terrifying if that
They
happens.
would be dirty, very dirty.
But yeah. LeBron will be dirty, man.
Very dirty.
So before we end this, what's the ceiling on the Mavs?
Finals.
Western Conference Finals.
I think they can win the finals.
At worst, they get a second round knockout because a team like the Grizzlies or Kings or somebody wakes up and decides to, fuck them up. But I genuinely think a Western Conference Finals matchup against the Nuggets, Pelicans, or Warriors is a guarantee with this trade.
Ortiz?
I think they can win the finals this year.
Yeah,
They're
I
winning
agree.
the
No,
finals.
I absolutely think the Mavs are capable of winning the finals. Do I think they will? No, but they're capable. That's the ceiling.
So am I allowed to pivot off the Nets? Are we allowed to do that for our Eastern Conference?
I would love to because it's my pick too.
Are we
So-
allowed to do that, Ortiz and Dean?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're allowed to? All right. I'm taking the Milwaukee Bucks.
I agree. I'm taking the Bucks as well. So
In the finals?
yes.
I'm
to go
taking-
there.
I'm taking the Celtics.
Oh, I'm taking
I
the
feel
Bucks to
like-
win it all. Taking the Bucks to win it all.
I still got the Celtics.
I'm
I
taking
think
the Sixers.
The,
I got the Sixers. We
ECF
just talked about.
is still
Yeah.
the
I'm
Sixers.
I'm taking the Celtics to win it all because I just think that, like as a team, like I just feel like the gap between the Bucks for years, the Bucks were like that team that could just the Celtics could be red hot, the Sixers could be red hot, whoever could be red hot, and they would just come in there and just fuck their shit up. I just think that's different, Again, this is also a major if Rob Williams is available to start the series. I like with all due respect, I don't think the Bucks have a chance. Rob Williams and Grant can slow down Giannis enough and then Drew is not the Drew of old. Middleton has been hurt and he's gonna come in
I
there.
don't know about that one. I think this
You
Drew
lost
is
me
the
there.
best Drew we've seen, bro.
That's all-star Drew Holiday. You're
Yeah.
disrespecting, man.
Don't disrespect Drew.
The
This is
slander will
one of the
not
best
be
seasons we've seen.
tolerated.
I think Smart will lock that shit up, being honest.
I think
But
Drew
Smart-
will lock up fucking Jaylen Brown, if I'm being completely honest. I think he puts his ass on clamps almost the whole series if that's who he guards.
Just lock that shit up.
And then, I don't think the Bucks are done either. Obviously, part of this, I think even as is, they're capable of winning the finals, but I don't think they're done. I think somehow, some way, they do pull off the Jay Crowder trade, and I don't think it'll cost much. And if they get Jay Crowder, and you're keeping Joe Ingles, you have Pat Connaughton still, like you have all these versatile pieces that can shoot the three ball next to Giannis. Of course, Bobby Portis is injured right now. You just have so much lineup versatility that I think, and you can't stop Giannis. Like, just point blank,
Yeah, you
period.
can't.
Nobody's
You can slow him
stopping that
down,
man.
You can slow him
So-
down, but you can't stop him.
I don't know, man. Then you could turn to Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, and even big man Brook Lopez.
I just think Jason Tatum has evolved as a scorer and as a defender, where I just don't think when you compare Middleton and Tatum now, that shit's not close. It's really not close.
Obviously, but like,
And Jalen, like, I feel like he's made so much strides in this past year where, like, yeah, Drew will be a problem. Drew is one of the few defenders that can actually, like, really mess him up, despite, like, that, like, it doesn't, like, there's no, like, Drew has messed him up multiple times. But I feel like he's a little bit better where he's not going to be completely shut down. I feel like his bad game is now, like, a 23, 24, 25 game, as opposed to before when a bad game was like, oh, Jaylen Brown got 15 points,
yeah.
Just
Honestly, man, I thought when the Nets had KD and Kyrie, and there was a top four in the East, a clear top four with the Celtics, the Nets, the Sixers, and the Bucks. My take was the Celtics aren't getting past the second round. I kind of have to pivot off that now because they're going to play an easier team in the second round if they're the one seed. But Celtics are beatable, in my opinion. I think the Celtics are very beatable. I think they should, rightfully so, be the favorites to come out of the East. They've proved it all season. They proved it all of last season, but I think they're very beatable.
I agree. I don't think, yes, while they have one of the best 8-man rotations in all of basketball, they're all starting caliber players. It's not like they can't be beaten. It's not like we're looking at a Golden State Warriors team with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. It's not what we're looking at here. It's a very good team, but it's not that level. So I don't think anyone's unbeaten in the NBA right now. This is going to be one of the best playoffs I feel like we've watched.
know I'm itching
honestly.
for it, bro.
Bro,
I'm
me
itching
too. I don't even
for it
care
so
about the
bad.
regular season anymore.
The
Honestly.
parity has really returned in the NBA after years of perennial teams going to the same finals every year, every fucking year. LeBron, you know what I mean? It's just it's
LeBron and
great to
Golden
see.
State.
It's great to see other teams, being good. So much talent
Yeah.
in the NBA. The talent pool's fucking crazy. So
Yeah.
I
definitely.
do want my biggest regret though is that certain teams have just been hit with like the injury bug that this shit could be even deeper than it actually is. But because certain teams just can't stay freaking healthy, it just doesn't look as good. Like it's a massive if. What if AD is not just some serial injury prone bitch that gets hit every 2 weeks?
Damn, bro.
Right? What if
Damn.
Kawhi Leonard wasn't a pussy and doesn't need to take minute restriction, so that way Paul George has to work through 10 different injuries until eventually he gets hit with one that he cannot play through right?
Anymore.
So
Yeah.
the Clippers just take themselves out of the conversation entirely. Like
Clippers
what
are frauds.
massive frauds. And the
Makes me
crazy
so
thing is on
sad.
paper that team could literally beat anybody. Like if I played a 2K game right now, I'm telling you, I could probably 40-piece somebody with the Clippers because it's not it. It's not it.
Paul George
I
in the
mean-
playoff rosters goes crazy.
Bro, they were my finals pick, bro. And I'm sticking by that, obviously. But like, it's not looking too hot, if I'm being honest. Give me the Sacramento Kings going to the finals at this point.
Ew.
Before we
I
end,
honestly like the Sacramento Kings. They've done so much, changed the culture around. I
yeah,
like
shout out to them. Shout out to them. Before we end, biggest day of our lives. Thursday at what, 3 p.m., 4 p.m.? When is it? 2 p.m.?
What's that?
The trade deadline? It's either
Oh,
sometime
yes.
between
It's 3
sometime
or
between two and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
sometime
not
between
2.
2
It's
and
not
4.
2. I think it's
Yeah.
3 or 4 o'clock. It's one
Yeah,
of those
something like that. The biggest day of our lives. What's one player that you absolutely top of your list want to see be traded at the deadline?
Like realistically,
Yeah, someone who's been in the, been in the talks. Not LeBron.
Oh, yeah. Anyone who's been mentioned in trade rumors recently that you think has a realistic chance of being traded?
OG.
Oh
If
yeah,
OG
I
is
was
not
gonna say
moved
OG.
on Thursday, something is not right. OG needs to be moved by Thursday.
I mean, I want to see Pascal moved.
I think OG to the King should be a
OG to the
destination.
Kings would be phenomenal. That would actually slightly change my outlook. Like if they played the Mavericks with
I agree.
OG, that's something where like I could see them. I still think they'd lose in 5, but I could
They'll
see
go to 5.
I could see them. I'm not gonna lie. I could see them pushing it to 6 because I've yet to see what Fox can do in the playoffs. De'Aaron has been beating anybody that I think De'Aaron cannot beat. He finds a way to beat.
I'm gonna be honest. I
So
think
it's
it's
like-
possible. I think it's possible that if the Kings get OG, they can win that series. Just
Yeah.
throwing that out there.
Because OG can be a stopper for one of them.
Yes,
He's had some
I agree.
success against Luka before. He's had a lot of success against Kyrie before.
Give me some Davion Mitchell on Kyrie Irving, bro. Like I'd love to see that. That's my guy, Davion. But yeah, my one player that I want to see traded. I'll go with another Raptor, and it's not Pascal. I want to see Fred on another team. I think he can honestly change the outlook of a team, and he could help someone in a playoff run. I think it's going to come back. His jumper's obviously fallen off a little bit this season, but I think it's coming back. So
But
a
who
lot of
could get-
Raptors, man. A lot of Raptors.
Who would have thought
Yeah, I was gonna
Buddy
say
Hield
the-
and Miles Turner
can
wouldn't
get
have
Fred?
gotten traded this season?
Who could get Fred? The Lakers. The Nets could be in play.
I mean, so many teams have point guards. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's why I'm like
The Suns.
the
nah.
Suns could be in play.
The Suns could be in play. I wouldn't
Not
rule that out.
likely, but they could be in play for sure.
Clippers.
The Clippers could
Clippers are
definitely be in play, though.
definitely in play.
Oh
Yes.
shit. Yo, somebody just popped in my mind. D'Angelo Russell.
That's who you
D'Angelo
want to see get
Russell is
traded.
somebody I could see getting popped by the deadline by Thursday.
Yeah,
They've been
guy
trying
for
to
me
move him
is-
the entire time.
the guy for me is Terry Rozier, man. I think Terry Rozier could really contribute to a playoff team coming off the bench playing 20-25 minutes. He's a bucket, man. So
One other player, your guy on your squad, Bojan. I want to see Bojan get moved so bad. I don't think he will, but
I'm happy he's staying. happy he's staying
Yeah,
with the
he's probably
core.
gonna end up there.
Pistons Nation, Detroit basketball till the day I die, baby.
This is going to
Hell
be
yeah.
his highest value. I don't see why they wouldn't just get something for it now.
I completely agree with you, Dean. 100%.
If I had to put
Cookies.
like
Whatever.
top 3 players to get moved, it'd probably be OG, D'Angelo Russell, and Sadiq Bey. I think somebody could snipe Sadiq Bey.
I think Sadiq kind of played his way into being a keeper. He's been real. You remember earlier in the season you were trying to trade from my dynasty team, and I was telling you he's been garbage. He's been really good recently. I keep loving more and more what the Pistons got going on, man. Like I said, I think keeping Bojan's a good move. I think he's gonna help you in the next 2-3 years as you're transitioning from a bottom of the league team to a team trying to make a legit playoff push. Alec Burks has been phenomenal. Sadiq Bey's been better. Jalen Duran is a monster.
The
He's a
freaking
beast.
trajectory.
Jaden Ivey, no one's talking about this guy, Jaden Ivey. Look at Jaden Ivey's game log from the past month and a half. Jaden Ivey's been really good. He's been shooting the 3 ball pretty well. He's been killing in the mid range. So I love what the Pistons got going on, man.
One player that I thought was going to get moved, but I'm like 100% certain he's not, is Buddy. Buddy's not going anywhere. Like
Dean said it before.
Like
Yeah, Dean said
it's
it
just
before.
too much money. It's 19. I think it's like 19 or 20 mil cap like this year, and like whatever the Pacers want to get him. Like I think it's like a first round pick or some shit like that. I don't know. It's not looking good.
Well, yeah, I mean, Dean, you said it. And we'll close on this. Miles Turner, who would have thought that he's going to be on the Pacers for the entire season? I mean, he just got extended too, so I think he's ineligible to get traded now. So
I thought
eligible until the summertime.
But
You
before
thought
the
the
season
whole
started,
season?
I've been saying this whole time the Pacers should keep Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. I've been saying it this whole time. That's another team. I love what they're doing. I think keeping those vets around and not fully bottoming out, I think it could help you, man. I love what the Pacers got going on.
yeah, you don't
Miles
have
Turner,
to
especially.
tank to rebuild.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got their guy. They got their guy through a trade. You know what I mean? They didn't have to tank. They got their guy. Tyrese is their guy.
And their other
Right.
guy is Benedict.
Yeah.
Benedict's on the come up. So
I feel like
Yeah, I mean,
whoever draft this year is going to push Benedict to the side, though. I feel like they might get a Thompson brother or some shit that might change their thing a little
Yeah,
bit.
it depends. It depends on where their pick falls, but I don't think they would be looking too much into a Thompson brother. I think
I
they're Brandon Miller team. They're a Jerice Walker
Yep.
team.
thought the
You know what I
same
mean?
thing. Brandon Miller would be perfect there.
Yeah, they're looking for
Literally
like
perfect.
wings, so like big wings, a guy who could play 3 and 4. So
Gotcha.
Yes.
it'll be
So-
interesting to see.
The next
gonna
up
be-
team, though, Orlando Magic, bro. France.
Agreed.
I'm such a big fan of
France.
France. France is one of my
France.
favorite
I mean-
freaking players in the NBA right now.
They have
France
Go check
unlimited
out-
young
is
pieces.
unstoppable.
Go
France
check
is
out Chris's Hoops Corner from about 3 months ago. I said Franz Wagner was the most underrated player in the NBA.
France
Now
is
look at him.
unguardable, bro. And then they have
Bro, the
their
Magic
two
are gonna
picks.
be
They have
good.
their first round pick this year, and then they have the pick from the Bulls from when they traded Vooch. So that's probably going to be 2 picks that end up in the top 15.
Nah, the thing
right
is because that Bulls pick is going to be the number 1 overall pick, so the Magic aren't going to get it because it's top 4 protected, and the Bulls are going to get Wemby.
Are you sure? I feel like that's going to be the Wizards, bro. I'm not going to lie. Or OKC.
Oh, don't
Well,
do that.
No,
Don't do
well,
that.
the Bulls pick is top 4 protected, so we'll
Not
see.
the Wizards, man. Anywhere but
Yo,
Washington.
speaking of the Magic, bro, just before we started, Click Productions posted a Luka and Kyrie simulation, and in the first year, Markelle Fultz made All NBA 3rd team in the first year. So, like simulating this season of the NBA, Markelle Fultz made All NBA 3rd team, averaging 22 and 10.
Yo,
pretty
the
insane.
Shields. Put some
At an
goddamn
82
respect on my
overall.
boy Markel's name, bro.
Bro,
Put some goddamn respect
I
on
took
that
a little
man's name.
look after you guys called me out on it, and Markel's been playing kind of cold. I haven't.
Yeah,
I
bro.
respect
He's
it.
good. He's really good. The only thing he's missing is the jumper. So and
Yo,
he could shoot
you
the
know
mid-range
what?
jumper.
It's a big
Yo,
thing.
What do you guys think about that
Three-pointers.
that brawl?
Oh, that shit was crazy. All I'm saying, Jalen Suggs threw Austin Rivers across the court, bro. Like he really dropped him. That shit was hilarious.
I'm gonna be honest. Mo Bamba's a bitch. Only relevant because of a fucking song
Bro,
that
all those guys are fake tough guys, bro. It's
yeah,
all for the
Austin Rivers probably
cameras.
also a fake tough guy, but I love Austin Rivers from his
Austin
time with
Rivers
the Knicks.
was
So
Instagram storying that Austin Rivers played for the Knicks.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bro, you
you
Yeah.
don't
forgot
remember
about
that?
that? Yo,
Austin
bro, that's
Rivers was on the
crazy.
Knicks,
Did he?
Clippers,
The year they made the
Rockets.
Yeah,
playoffs.
Those are the
yeah.
teams I
He
can
was
remember.
he was honestly pretty solid for us.
He started like the culture change, bro. He was
Bro,
like a
Wow,
big.
yes.
I don't know how that completely like slipped my
He
mind.
did no, he
That's weird.
literally started the culture change,
Like
bro.
I'm not seeing him in a Knicks jersey right now in my head. I gotta look
I
that
will
up.
never forget that man. I forgot
Bro,
what
he hit
game
it.
it was.
He hit like a few big threes in the fourth
Yes,
quarter.
in one
overtime
of
or
the
something,
in one
bro.
of the games, he literally took
This
over.
man turned
Just
into
took
Steph
over.
Curry. He
Yes,
turned into Steph Curry, bro.
bro.
I didn't realize he had a game like that for like the Knicks, bro. I remember the game he had with the Rockets, bro. He had like
No.
38 off the
He
bench.
sent out an Instagram post or a tweet that said, "If you're
It
riding
was,
with us,
bro. It was
good.
on Christmas. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
bro." He goes, "If you're riding with us, it's fucking great. You know, your fans are gonna are in for a treat or something like that." Like
Yes,
he knew the Knicks were like onto something, and then they
bro.
cut him, and then they made
Bro,
the
he
playoffs without him.
oh my god, bro. He literally was like, yo, I hope you guys ride with us. Like he's like, I'm so happy to be a part of Knicks of the Knicks like country and stuff.
That was a
like
fun
that.
time to be a Knicks fan.
Fans are the
They were
best.
winning games they weren't supposed to win. Yeah, good
Yeah,
times.
I miss
Yeah,
Austin
but
Rivers, man.
We still had hope about RJ Barrett.
Yeah, so much for
Yeah.
that. But
I
anyways,
think that's everything.
yeah, that is
Kyrie to
that
the
is
Mavs,
everything
man.
we got.
Mavs 2023 NBA
Next
champions,
time we're
baby.
on here, bro, I want us to talk about the Hawks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
we'll run it. We'll run it. Shields, you'll be back, bro. You'll be back.
word.
Don't no
Next
worries.
time we ever
but-
want to talk about the Hawks and how this experiment has failed. And
Yeah.
how, honestly, if I'm the GM, I'm trading Dejounte Murray and Capella, and I'm trading Dejounte Murray, Capella, and
Trade
Collins
everybody.
today. I'm trading
Yeah,
everybody except
it's-
for Trey and starting the whole team over.
You know, as you guys know, the Hawks are one of my teams, and it's hard being an honorary Hawks fan right now. I'm not really enjoying being a Hawks fan right now. It hasn't been fun, but we'll talk about that a different day.
We
Can I
definitely
just
will.
say I was
Yeah.
slightly right about the whole entire Dejounte Murray trade fit, guys?
DeJounte, bro.
I did kind of call it. I feel like I
was
called
incredibly
exact
wrong about
averages
that.
that he was
I
going to
don't
get
think-
that 5 to 6 rebound shit.
I said they were 17.
I don't think it's done yet. I don't think it's, we'll talk about it when we have more time for it, but
Yes.
my short thoughts are I don't think the Hawks struggles are entirely the fit between Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. I think there's a lot of shit that's not going right within
There's a
that
lot wrong
organization.
there.
Yeah.
There's a lot wrong there. But
Yeah. My closing
yeah.
thoughts about Kyrie are that energy between the basketball media is weird. All season it's been Luka Doncic needs a secondary ball handler, and the Mavs will be able to compete. They got a secondary ball handler, one of the best Robins we've seen in our lifetimes. And now it's a different excuse for why they can't compete. So we'll see that energy come April. That's all I have to say. Mavs Nation, let's ride.
Yeah, I mean, final closing thoughts. I think I can kind of speak for almost everybody here, and if I don't, you guys speak up. But they're contenders. There's no question about that now. But we'll see if there ends up being a fatal flaw in their system and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a fun one, though. They're gonna be a fun team to watch, especially the first game Kyrie comes and steps onto the Mavs floor. Like that's gonna be a fun one to watch to see the fit and the dynamic between those two. So, but yeah, I think that's everything.
One thing I didn't mention. Sorry, it just
Shoot, no, you're
came
good.
into my mind. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Jason Kidd utilizes Kyrie Irving, because he has to get creative with it. Because if it's just your turn, my turn, ISO back and forth the all game, it's not going to work.
They're going nowhere if that's
Yeah,
the case.
Yeah,
by
he
the
has
way.
to get creative with it. So I'll leave it at that.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of our socials in the description. And here's the emergency pod. Ball
Yeah.
game.
We'll be
Ball game.
live on Twitch tomorrow. Pull up Super Bowl preview.